In a world often dominated by men, a select few women have defied societal norms and carved out empires of their own. They're not your typical female figures. They're the ruthless female mafia bosses who have ascended to the top of the criminal world. With iron fists and cunning minds, they have navigated the treacherous waters of organized crime, leaving a lasting mark on history. From the roaring 20s of America to the contemporary criminal networks of Europe and Asia, these women have demonstrated a remarkable ability to command respect, loyalty, and fear. Their stories are tales of ambition, betrayal, and survival in a world where violence and deceit are the norm. Join us as we explore the lives and legacies of the 10 most ruthless female mafia bosses who have dominated the underworld. Number 1. Griselda Blanco. Griselda Blanco, born in 1943 in Cartagena, Colombia, rose to become one of the most feared and powerful figures in the cocaine trade during the 1970s and 80s. Known as the Godmother or the Black Widow, Blanco's early life was marked by poverty and crime. She began her criminal career as a pickpocket and prostitute in Medellin, eventually entering the world of drug trafficking. Blanco gained notoriety in the 1970s for her brutal tactics and innovative methods in the cocaine trade. After moving to New York, she established a vast network, using female drug mules and designing custom lingerie with hidden pockets for smuggling. Her influence extended to Miami, where she became a major figure in the cocaine cowboys era. In 1985, she was arrested in California and sentenced to over 10 years in prison. She was released in 2004 and deported to Colombia. Despite seeming to retire from drug trafficking, her violent past caught up with her in 2012 when she was killed by a motorcycle hitman in Medellin, a method she had helped popularize. Number 2. Judy Moran. Judy Moran, born in 1944 in Melbourne, Australia, became an infamous figure in the city's criminal landscape. Known as the matriarch of a crime family deeply involved in Melbourne's gangland wars. Unlike many on this list, Moran was not born into a life of crime but married into it, when she was wed Leslie Johnny Cole in 1963. After Cole's murder in 1982, Judy Moran began a relationship with Louis Moran, strengthening her position in Melbourne's criminal underworld. Her sons Mark and Jason Moran followed their stepfather's lead and became key players in the city's drug trade and gang conflicts. The Moran family gained notoriety during Melbourne's gangland wars in the 1990s and 2000s, a violent period that resulted in at least 36 deaths. Judy lost both of her sons and her brother-in-law, Louis Moran, during this turbulent time, but continued to attract media attention and authored an autobiography. In 2009, Judy's criminal activities came to light when she was arrested for orchestrating the murder of her brother-in-law, Des Twopence Moran. The murder, carried out by a hitman in a cafe, stunned Melbourne's criminal community. Judy was convicted of murder in 2011 and sentenced to 26 years in prison. Number 3. Sandra Avila Beltrán. Sandra Avila Beltrán, born in 1960 in Baja California, Mexico, earned the moniker the Queen of the Pacific for her pivotal role in building connections between Colombian and Mexican drug cartels. Unlike many in the narcotics trade, Olivia Beltrán was born into a family with deep ties to the drug world, with several relatives, including her uncle Miguel Angel Felix Gallardo, being key figures in the Guadalajara cartel. Avila Beltrán slowly but decisively entered the drug trade, using her family's connections and charm to build alliances between Mexican and Colombian cartels. She played a key role in moving cocaine from Colombia to Mexico for distribution in the United States. Her criminal career ended in 2007, and she was arrested in Mexico City with her Colombian boyfriend, Juan Diego Espinoza Ramirez, known as the Tiger. This arrest marked a major success for law enforcement due to her prominent position in the cartel. Her trial and imprisonment drew significant media attention. Extradited to the United States in 2012, she faced cocaine trafficking charges and admitted to financing her boyfriend's drug activities. Sentenced to 70 months in prison, she was released in 2015 and deported to Mexico. Number 4. Raffaela D'Alterio. Raffaela D'Alterio, known in the Italian underworld as Mecciona, rose to prominence as one of the most powerful female bosses in the Camorra, the notorious Neapolitan Mafia. Born into a family with strong ties to organized crimes in Naples, D'Alterio's ascent to power was as swift as it was brutal. D'Alterio's criminal career began in earnest following the murder of her husband, Nicola Pianese, in 2006. Rather than retreating from the dangerous world of the Camorra, she stepped into her late husband's role, taking control of the clan's operations in the town of Giuliano, on the outskirts of Naples. In 2012, she was arrested along with several other members of her clan in a major operation by the Italian police. The authorities seized assets worth millions of euros, including luxury cars, high-end real estate, and bank accounts. Her case drew considerable media attention, not only due to the scale of her operations, but also because of her status as a female boss in the traditionally male-dominated world of the Camorra. Number 5. Marllory Chacón Rossell. Marllory Chacón Rossell, often referred to as the Queen of the South, emerged as one of the most influential figures in Central American drug trafficking during the early 2000s. Born in Guatemala, Chacón Rossell's rise to power in the criminal underworld was marked by her exceptional intelligence, business acumen, and ability to forge crucial alliances across international borders. Unlike many of her counterparts who inherited their positions or married into crime families, Chacón Rossell built her empire from the ground up. As her reputation grew, Chacón Rossell expanded her operations beyond money laundering into drug trafficking. Chacón Rossell's downfall began in 2012, when she was designated as a drug kingpin by the U.S. Treasury Department under the Foreign Narcotics Kingpin Designation Act. This designation led to increased scrutiny of her activities and those of her associates. In a surprising turn of events, Chacón Rossell surrendered to U.S. authorities in 2014, reportedly to negotiate a plea deal. Number 6. Rosetta Cutolo. Rosetta Cutolo, known as La Padrona due to her cold and calculating demeanor, played a pivotal role in one of Italy's most powerful criminal organizations, the Nuova Camorra Organizzata, NCO. Born in 1937 in Ottaviano near Naples, Rosetta was the sister of the infamous Raffaela Cutolo, the founder of the NCO. Rosetta gained power in the Mafia, not through marriage or inheritance, but through her active role in criminal activities and loyalty to her brother. After Raffaele was imprisoned in 1963, Rosetta took charge of managing the family's operations and proved herself as a strong leader. She was known for her intelligence and ability to oversee the NCO's criminal network, including drug trafficking, extortion, and money laundering, while keeping a respectable front. Her control over these operations was significant and effective. Rosetta's downfall occurred in 1993, when she was arrested after evading capture for nearly a decade. Found hiding in a bunker beneath a church in Ottaviano, her arrest was a major blow to the NCO. Sentenced to 9 years in prison for organized crime, she still managed to exert some influence within the criminal underworld, even while incarcerated. Number 7. Maria Licciardi. Maria Licciardi, known as the Godmother, or La Piccolona, the Little One, was a prominent figure in the Neapolitan Camorra. Born in 1951 in Naples, Italy, Licciardi came from a family deeply entrenched in organized crime. Her rise to power began in the 1990s following the arrests and death of several male family members, including her brother, Gennaro Licciardi, the founder of the Licciardi clan. Taking control of the family business, Maria Licciardi quickly proved herself to be a cunning and ruthless leader. She expanded the clan's operations beyond traditional activities, like extortion and racketeering, into more lucrative ventures, such as international drug trafficking and money laundering. Under her leadership, the Licciardi clan became one of the most powerful factions within the Camorra. Despite her power, Licciardi maintained a low profile, rarely being photographed and operating from the shadows. This cautious approach allowed her to evade capture for many years. However, in 2001, she was arrested in a major anti-Camorra operation. After serving time in prison, she was released in 2009 due to time served in good behavior. In August 2021, at the age of 70, Licciardi was once again arrested in Naples. The arrest came as she was about to board a flight to Spain, possibly in an attempt to evade law enforcement. Number 8. Catherine Thorne. Catherine Thorne, born Cleo May Brooks in 1904, became infamous as the wife and criminal partner of George Machine Gun Kelly. While her husband's name might be more widely recognized, Catherine was far more a passive participant in their criminal endeavors. Thorne's early life was marked by rebellion and a series of failed marriages. She met George Kelly in 1930 when she was still a small-time criminal. Recognizing his potential, Catherine is credited with transforming Kelly from a petty thief into a notorious gangster. Catherine played a key role in planning and executing crimes with her husband, including the 1933 kidnapping of oil tycoon Charles Urschel. The couple received a $200,000 ransom, but it led to their arrest and conviction. Catherine was sentenced to 25 years in prison, while her husband received a life sentence. After serving her time at a federal reformatory, she was released in 1958. Catherine lived a quiet life until her death in 1985 at the age of 81, long after her notorious criminal past and her husband. Number 9. Stephanie St. Clair. Stephanie St. Clair, known as Queenie, or the Madam Queen of Policy, was a prominent figure in the Harlem underworld during the 1920s and 1930s. Born in 1886 on the French Caribbean island of Guadeloupe, St. Clair immigrated to the United States in 1912, settling in Harlem, New York. St. Clair rose to power through her involvement in the illegal numbers game, a policy banking system that provided essential income and jobs in African American communities, where traditional banking was scarce due to racial discrimination. Her influence grew as she controlled this underground economy in Harlem. In the early 1930s, St. Clair clashed with Dutch Schultz, a prominent white mobster who tried to take over her operation. The resulting turf war was marked by violence, including hits and shootouts. The conflict ended with Schultz's assassination in 1935, potentially with St. Clair's help. Afterward, she shifted to legitimate business and real estate, living a lavish lifestyle until her death in 1969. Her legacy remains complex, reflecting both her role in illegal gambling and her contributions to Harlem and civil rights. Number 10. Thelma Wright. Thelma Wright, known as the Boss Lady or Queen Pen of Philadelphia, rose to prominence in the drug trafficking world during the 1980s and early 1990s. Born Thelma Thornton in 1967 in Philadelphia, her entry into the criminal underworld came through her marriage to Jackie Wright, a key figure in the city's black mafia. At first, Thelma stayed away from the crime world and focused on raising their son, but in 1986, Jackie was killed in a drug dispute. This pushed Thelma to take over his drug business. She quickly became a smart and powerful leader. Thelma expanded the business from heroin to cocaine, building a smuggling route from Los Angeles and Miami to Philadelphia. She managed to grow a multi-million-dollar empire along the East Coast. After about a decade in the drug trade, Thelma decided to leave in the mid-1990s, motivated by a near-death experience and her desire to be there for her son. Unlike many in her situation, she got out alive and avoided major prison time. These women were some of the toughest mafia bosses, taking over the criminal world with strong dedication to their families and their illegal businesses. They were famous for their close family connections and strong loyalty, which helped them gain power and control in organized crime. Their stories show how female leaders could change and influence the world of crime, leaving a lasting mark on Mafia's dark history.